The Galactic Council Hall was silent for only a moment, then laughter filled the air. Dozens of alien commanders sat in a wide circle, their glowing eyes fixed on the hologram in the center of the room. The image showed Earth's newest weapon prototype. It was small, rough, and simple compared to the shining machines of the galaxy. "This is it," one alien general said with clear amusement. "This is humanity's answer to our fleets," another asked, laughing louder. The council had just finished reviewing the war. Humans had fought bravely, but to the aliens, bravery was not enough. Their technology was old. Their ships were slow. And this prototype weapon looked unfinished, almost childish. The council agreed on one thing. Humans were weak. Humans were emotional. Humans had lost. The war officially ended that day. Far from the council hall, on a quiet alien world once used as a battlefield, stood a war memorial. Tall black stone pillars carried the names of fallen alien soldiers. The area was clean, silent, and respected. No enemy was allowed there. It was a place of honor. Every cycle, alien guards checked the memorial. Nothing ever changed. Until one morning, an alien scout stopped suddenly. At the base of the central pillar, something new rested on the stone floor. Small objects, carefully placed. The scout leaned closer. Flowers. Not alien plants, but preserved human flowers, dried yet intact. Beside them lay a simple metal token, scratched and worn. It carried no alien markings. The scout felt confusion rise. No alarms had been triggered. No ships were detected. No enemies were seen. The gifts should not have been there. Within hours, the news reached the commanders. The memorial was sealed. Guards surrounded the site. Scans showed no traps, no weapons, no hidden devices. Only respect. The alien commander of the sector stood before the memorial, staring at the flowers. "Who would do this?" he asked. A junior officer answered carefully, "It looks ceremonial." The commander turned slowly. "From whom?" The answer felt impossible, yet it hung in the air. Humans. The same humans who were mocked in the council hall. The same humans whose weapon prototype had been laughed at. The same humans who had lost the war. The idea made no sense. Why would an enemy honor the dead of those who defeated them? The commander ordered a full investigation. Surveillance drones were activated. Records were checked. All human forces were supposed to have withdrawn. Still, the next cycle, more gifts appeared. This time, small carved symbols rested beside the flowers. Symbols of remembrance. Symbols used by human soldiers to honor fallen comrades. The alien guards felt something unfamiliar. Unease. One guard spoke quietly. "Sir, this does not feel like a threat." The commander did not answer at once. He stared at the memorial, then at the sky above. "If this is not a threat," he said slowly, "then it is a message." Back on the Galactic Council, the prototype weapon was already forgotten. The Council discussed trade routes and new conquests. Humans were no longer considered important. But on the battlefield world, something had changed. The enemy had not vanished. Someone was still coming. Someone unarmed. Someone brave enough to walk alone among former enemies. And whoever it was, they were reminding the galaxy of something it had ignored. Humans did not forget the fallen. Not even when the fallen were enemies. The commander made his decision. "Find out who is leaving these gifts," he ordered. "I want to meet them." Because deep inside, a truth was forming, one that no advanced weapon could hide. Perhaps the greatest mistake was not underestimating Earth's weapon. It was underestimating the human soul. The alien investigation began with confidence. To the alien commanders, humans were already defeated. Their fleets were damaged. Their colonies were silent. Their weapon prototype had been studied, mocked, and dismissed. There was no reason to fear a people who had lost. Yet the war memorial kept receiving gifts. Surveillance drones hovered high above the stone pillars, silent and invisible. Motion scanners were placed in the ground. Thermal sensors watched every path leading to the memorial. The alien guards waited. Nothing happened. No ships entered the system. No weapons fired. No alarms sounded. Still, the next cycle, a new offering appeared. This time it was a simple human medal. Old. Burned at the edges. The name on it was scratched, but the meaning was clear. It belonged to a soldier. The alien commander clenched his claws. "This is becoming a problem," he said. A senior officer replied, "With respect, Commander, it is only symbolism. Humans are known for emotional acts." The commander nodded, but his mind was uneasy. He remembered the war. At the start, humans had tried to fight like the rest of the galaxy. Ships against ships. Weapons against weapons. They lost quickly. Their technology could not match alien firepower. Then came Earth's prototype. It was deployed once. Only once. Alien sensors had laughed at it. The weapon did not glow. It did not bend space. It did not erase fleets. It only created a strange field, then shut down. The alien generals had joked about it for cycles. A child's experiment, they said. A desperate move, they said. After that, the humans retreated. The war ended. Or so the aliens believed. Back at the memorial, a young alien guard spoke softly to another. Why would they come back unarmed? The other guard answered, "Maybe it is shame." But the young guard shook his head. Shame does not leave gifts. The commander overheard them. He said nothing, but the thought stayed with him. Meanwhile, in the Galactic Council, the humans were barely mentioned. New threats filled the agenda. New wars were planned. Earth was labeled as a minor power. One council member joked, "At least they know how to lose with style." Laughter followed. No one noticed that some alien veterans were silent. On the battlefield world, the commander ordered a change. "Remove the outer guards," he said. The officers stared at him. "Sir." "If this human is coming," the commander continued, "I want to see them clearly." The order was risky. If it was a trap, lives could be lost. But something told the commander that this was not an attack. The next cycle, under the pale light of the planet's sun, the memorial stood unguarded. Hours passed. Then, a single figure appeared at the edge of the stone field. No armor. No weapon. Only a human soldier. He walked slowly. Each step was careful. Respectful. Hidden sensors tracked his heartbeat. It was steady. The soldier stopped before the memorial. He removed his helmet. He knelt. From a small pack, he placed another offering. A folded cloth. Human colors. Human meaning. The aliens watched in silence. The soldier touched the stone. He lowered his head. He spoke quietly, words the translators struggled to catch. "They fought with honor," he said. Then he stood, turned, and walked away. No threat. No fear. No hatred. Only respect. The alien commander felt something shift inside him. This was not weakness. This was something far more dangerous. Because a species that honors even its enemies does not fight for victory alone. It fights for memory. And for the first time since the war ended, the alien commander wondered if laughing at Earth's prototype had been a mistake. A very human mistake. The human soldier did not know he was being watched. He moved away from the war memorial and walked across the empty stone field. His steps were slow, not from fear, but from thought. The battle was long over, yet his mind still carried its weight. The alien commander followed the data feed in silence. Every movement of the human was calm. No sign of escape. No sign of attack. "Track him," the commander said quietly. Drones followed the soldier from a safe distance. He walked toward a small ruined structure, once a human medical post during the war. Inside, he sat down and removed his gloves. His hands shook. Not from cold. From memory. The soldier closed his eyes. Images returned to him. The battlefield. The noise. The fallen. Human and alien alike. During the war, he had seen enemy soldiers drag wounded humans away from fire. He had seen aliens shield their own wounded with their bodies. They were enemies, yes, but they were also soldiers. When the final retreat order came, he had obeyed. But something stayed with him. The dead were left behind. Back at the memorial, the alien commander finally gave a risky order. "Open a channel," he said. The officers hesitated. "To the human." "Yes," the commander replied. A soft signal reached the ruined post. The human soldier's communicator activated. He looked down at it, surprised. A voice spoke, calm and clear. "Human soldier," the commander said. "You walk on forbidden ground." The soldier stood slowly. He did not reach for a weapon. "I know," he replied. "Why do you return here?" the commander asked. "Why honor those who fought against you?" The human was silent for a moment. Then he answered simply, "Because they deserve it." The aliens listening felt something tighten inside them. "They killed your kind," an officer said sharply. "Yes," the human replied. "And we killed theirs." The words were not angry. They were honest. "In my unit," the human continued, "we were taught something simple. When the fight ends, the hate must end too." The commander leaned closer to the display. "You risk your life for this," he said. "Why?" The soldier looked back toward the memorial, even though he could no longer see it. "Because one day," he said, "someone might stand over our dead. And I hope they remember us the same way." Silence filled the command center. No alien spoke. The soldier took a breath. "I do not come as an enemy. I come as a soldier." The channel closed. The commander stared at the empty screen. This human was not begging. Not threatening. Not asking for peace. He was reminding them of something older than war. Honor. Later that cycle, the commander visited the memorial himself. He stood before the names carved in stone. Names he had known. Names he had lost. For the first time, he noticed the human offerings not as strange objects, but as symbols. Memory. Respect. Shared sacrifice. An officer approached him. "Sir," he said quietly, "what should we do?" The commander answered after a long pause. "We allow it," he said. "The human may return." The officer looked shocked. "Sir, the council." "The council laughed at humans," the commander replied. "I will not." Because now he understood. Earth's greatest weapon was not a machine. It was the ability to see an enemy and still recognize a fellow soul. And that realization was far more powerful than any prototype. The Galactic Council received the report with disbelief. The message was clear. A human soldier had been allowed to return to an alien war memorial. No weapons. No attack. No threat. Some council members were angry. Why was he not detained? One demanded. Why is an enemy allowed such freedom? Another asked. The alien commander stood calm before them. Because he did not come to fight, he said. He came to remember. The council dismissed his words. Emotion, they believed, was still weakness. But the commander had already ordered something else. He reopened the data on Earth's weapon prototype. For the first time, he did not look at it as a weapon. He looked at it as a message. The prototype had been activated only once. During the war, it created a strange field and then shut down. It caused confusion, but little damage. Or so the aliens believed. The commander asked his science teams to study the data again. Slowly. Carefully. What they found changed everything. The prototype was never meant to destroy. It was meant to observe. The field it created was a learning field. It collected combat data, movement patterns, energy reactions, emotional responses. It was not finished. It was a test. While the aliens laughed, the humans learned. The prototype did not fail. It succeeded exactly as designed. A scientist spoke with a quiet voice. Commander, this device was not built for one battle. It was built for many, the commander replied. The humans had chosen not to use their final weapon. They could have. But they did not. Instead, they retreated. The council struggled to accept this. "You are saying they held back?" a member asked. "Yes," the commander answered. "And they did it on purpose." Another truth followed. Human military records showed strict rules. Rules about war. Rules about the dead. Rules about honor. Humans trained their soldiers not only to fight, but to remember. The prototype was part of the same thinking. Control. Patience. Restraint. One council member whispered, "They let us think we won." The room fell silent. On the battlefield world, the human soldier returned again. This time, no drones followed him closely. The aliens did not hide. They watched openly. The soldier noticed. He paused, then continued walking. At the memorial, he placed one final item. A small plaque. Simple words were carved into it. "Soldiers rest. War is over." The alien commander stepped forward. "You are not afraid," he said. The human looked at him. "I was," he replied. "During the war." "And now?" the commander asked. "Now I remember why we fight," the human said. "And why we stop." The commander nodded slowly. In that moment, the truth was clear. Earth's weapon prototype was never the greatest threat. Human discipline was. A species that could build a weapon, test it, then choose not to use it, was far more dangerous than one that attacked without thought. The Council sent a final message across the galaxy. Humans were reclassified. Not as weak. Not as defeated. But as restrained. And restraint, the commander realized, was the most frightening power of all. The Galactic Council gathered one last time. This time, there was no laughter. The reports from the battlefield world had spread across the stars. Images of the human soldier at the war memorial were shared again and again. His actions were simple, yet they shook something deep inside the alien civilizations. The council members watched in silence. A senior voice finally spoke. "Humans could have destroyed more," the voice said. "They chose not to." Another answered, "They honored our dead." The room felt heavy. The alien commander stepped forward. He spoke clearly. "We feared their weapons," he said. "That was our first mistake." He paused. "We should have feared their restraint." The council agreed on a historic decision. Humans would no longer be labeled as a minor power. They would no longer be mocked. They would be watched with respect. And with caution. On the battlefield world, the war memorial changed. Alien workers carefully added a new section. Not large. Not proud. Just simple. A single line was carved into stone. In honor of those who remembered. The human soldier returned one final time. This time, he was not alone. Alien soldiers stood beside the memorial. Not as guards. Not as enemies. As witnesses. The human placed no gifts. He simply stood and saluted. The alien commander mirrored the gesture in his own way. No words were spoken. None were needed. Across the galaxy, military academies began teaching a new lesson. They studied Earth's weapon prototype, but not to copy it. They studied why it was not used. They studied human training. 13 weeks before combat. Discipline. Control. Memory. They learned that humans did not rush to destroy. They waited. They watched. They remembered. An alien historian recorded the moment. "Humans do not fight to erase," he said. "They fight to protect meaning." The name of Earth spread. Not as a world of unstoppable weapons, but as a world of dangerous principles. A species that honors even its enemies cannot be broken easily. Years later, when new conflicts threatened the galaxy, a simple rule was spoken. If humans are involved, commanders said, seek understanding first. Because war with humans was never just about survival. It was about legacy. On Earth, the human soldier returned home. He removed his uniform and placed it away. He lived quietly. No medals. No speeches. But far above, among the stars, His actions had changed history. The alien commander stood alone one night, looking at the stars. "We laughed at their prototype," he said softly. An officer beside him replied, "We did not understand it." The commander nodded. "It was never a weapon," he said. "It was a warning. A warning that humans fight with memory, and a species that remembers its enemies will never forget its purpose." That was why the galaxy finally understood. Humans were feared not for what they destroyed, but for what they chose to honor.